So we are back with another episode of The Final Verdict. This is Megadeth Part 2. Let's dive in and settle the score. So Far, So Good, So What marks a turning point for Megadeth. A new era, a new lineup, and the beginning of what will become a long tradition of revolving band members. Out go Chris Poland and Gar Samuelson, in come Jeff Young on guitar, and Chuck Baylor on drums. When I first got into Megadeth, I started with their 90s catalog before working my way backward. But the very first Megadeth song I ever connected with was In My Darkest Hour. And I discovered it the old school way, by renting The Decline of the Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years, on VHS from Blockbuster in 1998. That track hit hard then, and it still stands as one of my all-time favorites from the band. As for other standouts, Into the Lungs of Hell kicks things off with an instrumental that perfectly captures the chaos and unease of what's to come. The second track, Set the World Afire, follows it up with the intensity and drive that Megadeth does best. Caught between the raw thrash of the early days and the polish of what was to come, So Far, So Good, So What feels like the sound of a band in transition. It's often overlooked, but there's plenty here worth revisiting, and I'm going to give this one 3.5 Vic Rattleheads out of 5. Okay, next up is Rust in Peace, which was another early Megadeth album I came to after devouring most of their 90s output. Released in 1990, it stands as a crucial bridge, linking the band's ferocious thrash and speed metal roots with the more melodic, refined direction they'd explore throughout the next decade. I'll admit it, when I first heard this album, I didn't get the hype. It sounded solid for sure, but I honestly thought it was overrated. The so-called classic status felt exaggerated to me at the time. But that was a long time ago. And like a lot of great music, Rust in Peace has revealed itself over time. My opinion has completely flipped since that first impression. And today I recognize it as the classic everyone says it is. Holy Wars and Hangar 18 were always untouchable in my book, but over the years tracks like Five Magics and Rust in Peace Polaris hit me a whole new way. Five Magics in particular has grown on me and become my third favorite track on the album, right behind those two opening monsters. And once I learned the lyrics were inspired by the fantasy novel Master of the Five Magics, I immediately tracked down a copy. Well, sometimes it just takes time and a few replays for true greatness to sink in. Another lineup shift marked this era. Jeff Young and Chuck Baylor were out, making way for guitarist Marty Friedman and drummer Nick Menza. This new formation would go on to become the most stable and arguably the most iconic lineup in Megadeth's history. Spanning 8 years and 4 studio albums, this era is widely considered to be the band's definitive classic lineup. Obviously, I gotta give this one 5 Vic Rattleheads. That's it for now, so keep liking, following, and sharing because we're just getting started.